It's Wednesday, July 30th.
It's actually the largest earthquake in the last 14 years.
Breaking overnight, a tsunami advisory remains in place for coastal BC after a massive earthquake in Russia. It is one of the strongest earthquakes ever recorded and has caused serious damage and evacuations.
Our goal remains a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable and sovereign Palestinian state.
The UK has put a timeline on potentially recognizing a Palestinian state. Our federal cabinet will meet today to talk about whether Canada will follow suit.
I'm hopeful that a number of additional irritants, maybe on both sides, will be addressed.
Tariff talk. The U.S. ambassador to Canada is sharing some optimism a deal can be reached before the deadline on Friday. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Hey there. Glad you're with us. I'm Teddy Wilson in for Lindsey.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. Happy Wednesday.
And we're going to start this Wednesday's broadcast with some breaking news right off the top of the show. Coastal British Columbia remains under a tsunami advisory this morning. This following a massive earthquake off Russia Tuesday afternoon.
It's actually the largest earthquake in the last 14 years. With the motion of this earthquake, it's actually thrusting, so that's the ground is actually moving up and down.
So we're still waiting on official word on how this has affected BC. Less than a foot of wave height was expected. BC's Emergency Preparedness Agency said a tsunami was expected in parts of Haida around 10:05 p.m. Pacific time and Tofino around 11:30. Waves have reached the coast of California, this according to the U.S. National Weather Service. BC has warned people on or near the water to move to safer ground. They've also advised people with boats to move out to a depth of at least 55 meters. The 8.8 magnitude earthquake has caused damage and evacuations in Russia, but no serious injuries. The first tsunami wave caused by the earthquake hit in the coastal area of Severodvinsk. Aftershocks from the earthquake have been as strong as 6.9 magnitudes. This is likely the strongest earthquake since the 9.0 magnitude quake in Japan, and that was in March 2011. Tsunami waves have now reached Hawaii as people there were told before to head to higher ground.
You know, our number one priority is life safety. And so right now it's an easy thing. Get away from the beaches, get inland, and get upward.
Waves higher than 1.7 meters were recorded on Maui. Officials have downgraded Hawaii's tsunami alert to an advisory, and people are being told to be careful as they start heading home. Airports have also reopened after flights in and out of Maui were canceled for the night. And in Japan, almost 2 million people have been told to evacuate. The tallest tsunami wave recorded so far is 1.3 meters high at its northern coast. Officials say waves as high as 3 meters are possible. No major damage has been reported so far. Tsunami alerts have also been issued in the Philippines, Indonesia, Guam, Peru, and the Galapagos Islands. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to meet with his cabinet today on the situation in Gaza. A source has told CTV News Ottawa is considering recognizing a Palestinian state if Israel does not agree to a ceasefire. Sources also say no decision has been made at this time. This comes after UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer laid down an ultimatum to Israel.
The UK will recognise the state of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September unless the Israeli government take substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza.
The UK's announcement comes after France said last week it will recognize a Palestinian state. Israel has responded to the UK's deadline by saying it's rewarding Hamas for the October 7th attacks. U.S. President Donald Trump is also backing Israel's stance. The U.S. government this morning rejecting that criticism, saying its decision is about the Palestinian people and getting aid into Gaza. Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Dominic LeBlanc is back in Washington this morning for trade talks ahead of Friday's deadline.
We could hammer out a deal, and we would still have time to get coffee and a donut at Tim Hortons before lunch.
Speaking in Winnipeg, the U.S. ambassador to Canada is trying to reassure businesses about the relationship between both countries. Sources tell CTV News there's a good level of optimism and discussions are still centered on trying to get a deal done before Friday's deadline. This is a change from a few days ago when U.S. President Donald Trump said his country may not reach a deal with Canada by the deadline. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre took part in a debate for the Battle River Crowfoot by-election.
We need to unlock our resources to produce cheap energy and affordable homes. So let's produce more stuff rather than adding more people and more money.
Poilievre shared the stage with 9 other candidates running for the seat. There are more than 200 people running on the ballot, most of them sponsored by the Longest Ballot Committee protest group. Poilievre is widely expected to win the seat, which the Conservatives took with more than 80% of the vote in the last election. Well, there's a lot of buzz around former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry sharing a meal at a Montreal restaurant. The two were spotted dining Monday night at Le Violin, one of Canada's best restaurants. According to TMZ, they shared the tasting menu, skipped dessert, and the former Prime Minister paid the bill. A representative for the restaurant says the pair spent a couple hours dining. Katy Perry's Lifetimes tour is swinging through Canada right now, and she's playing tonight in Montreal. Well, Canadian Blood Services is making a call for donations. People with type O negative blood are being asked to donate as soon as they can. Canadian Blood Services says demand has been high this summer and it needs to maintain its supply. O negative is the universal blood type found in about 7% of Canadians. Well, a blind moose calf named Cedar is joining the crew at the Toronto Zoo.
This is a really rare case where the orphan has found their way into human care and really begged the what's next question. And I think our first choice always is those animals out in the wild. In this case, though, for compassionate reasons, we have a space, and assuming everything comes together, we look forward to being that forever home for Cedar.
Cedar has been living at a rescue facility over the past few weeks. Staff say they've been making really great progress. The 2-month-old was found near Ottawa earlier this month. Since he cannot go back into the wild, he's getting ready to start his new life at the Toronto Zoo.
Lovely.
So cute. You see adult moose, like full-grown moose, and they're such wild-looking animals because they're huge and they've got the
skinny legs,
very spindly legs. But the calves, look at them, they're really, really cute.